2018.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Uh, and so, like I said, since 2018, you guys have been there since day one. This partnership has been just a pleasure working with you guys. And so, pretty much, think outside the block. Really, um, our mission is to provide a better quality of life to disadvantaged youth and build community. And so from the start, I just really looked at different ways that just myself, the way that I grew up, integrated Englewood community, the things that I thought was cool, the things I was taught was cool, just really being that person to our youth that I didn't have coming up in this community. And so outside of that, understanding that it takes the entire community to come together to make everything better. So while working with the youth and showing them different things and giving them different tools and exposing them to different options that they have, also just bringing the community together to understand that we all need one another, regardless of our age, our ethnic backgrounds, the side of the city we live on, our social status, our tax bracket, whatever the things that typically divides us as a people, just kind of understanding that we're all kind of one conversation away to realizing that we have so many things in common and we all want, pretty much the same things out of life and want a better quality of life. And so in 2018, I kind of channeled when I thought about I've done and organized so many different things. But in 2018, I really thought back to that time when I was a child and I was getting ready to graduate from 8th grade to go into high school, and just really thinking about that time when I put my bike down and I thought that was a kid thing, but I thought about how much fun I had actually riding bikes. And I just thought like, this could be a cool way to bring people together. Um, and what I did was I just thought about all these things that typically in my community in Englewood, the things that people look at as cool or would look at as childish or something that they didn't do or wouldn't do anymore. And I just asked myself, how could I make this a cool thing? How can I bring people together? And so I thought, I thought it kind of like a car show and how that would look, and how people would kind of gather around cars and just, be amazed at it. And I just wondered if we can get people together on bikes and if we could do it at night and if we could light the bikes up and we can bring people together. And that was pretty much the idea, but also just thinking about how unsafe people felt. And even when expressing that this was something that I wanted to do, there was a lot of people who just felt that it wasn't safe or that Englewood wasn't the place to do this or whatever because of the narrative that has been created over the years and some of the violence that has occurred in our community. But like I mentioned, working with partners like Working Bikes and the other different groups from Englewood that kind of got behind the idea and supported it. The first event was successful and we just continued to build on it. And so right now we are looking at, we've seen over 1,000 participants that come to Englewood for ROLLNPEACE to do this ride. And also we've had our previous commanders, because we recently had a new commander. So our previous commanders have reported out. And the first time I heard this stat, I was in a meeting with the mayor's office and I didn't even know. But that every time we've done ROLLNPEACE, there's been 0 violent crimes in the entire district the day that we've done the ride. And so it's just provided so many different opportunities. There's a lot of people that told me that ROLLNPEACE was their first time coming to Englewood. There's a lot of people that told me that ROLLNPEACE was their first time having a positive interaction with law enforcement. And so outside of that, just being able to get people to understand the importance of being healthy, living a healthy lifestyle, giving healthy tips. just showing people how to exercise, showing people a skill on even how to fix bikes. Some people that do rolling peace have never even rolled a bike before and didn't know how to ride a bike. So even teaching people how to ride bikes, it just provides so many opportunities. And so again, we're looking forward to doing Rolling Peace 7, June 19th. I'm sure it's going to be an amazing turnout. And I hope to see all of you guys there. Outside of that, also just thinking about the mental health and wellness that Rolling Peace provides, to know that there's some parents that won't even allow their children to ride their bikes or go past a certain space on the block or ride in the street or go around the corner. And so for our youth to even be able to come out this night and just ride freely and have fun in their community and get to go through different parts of the community that they've never even seen, or go through blocks that they've never even been on, because I intentionally create this route every time to go through the areas that's experiencing the most violence. And so those blocks and those areas that people might say, I would never go there, or I would never stop there, they get to ride through these places freely and without a care in the world. And so from this, there's a program that I created called Get Your Mind Right, which is a program that I just stepped away from, where we currently have 16 young people between the ages of 18 and 24. And we meet every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. We kind of just take a deep dive into things like the music, the movies, the social issues, the things that we deal with every day in our community that's deemed as normal, but it's really traumatizing. And we kind of break those things down. We have restorative and peace circles. We have therapists on site, and we have groups of therapy sessions. And then I also invite out different influencers that may be big, or that our youth may look up to on social media, or that's just doing different things or excelling in their own lanes, to show them that they have different options and that they can create their own lanes to be able to just be themselves, and encourage them to be exactly who they are. And so that's I feel like I've been talking for quite some time. And I guess I'll stop there. That's some of the things that I've been able to just do, some of the things that the opportunities that Rolling Peace has presented. Also, I also um, I coordinated an initiative funded by the Department of Justice to develop a community-based strategy to reduce violence in Englewood. And so I'm working every day with the different stakeholders, health professionals, law enforcement, community partners, to just come together, creating a coalition, and just see how do we work together to just deter violence and to provide a better quality of life for individuals, but ultimately also just encouraging people to understand that they have the power to begin whatever change that they want to see within the community. We don't have to always wait on the police or the mayor or the alderman or whoever that we feel like have the power to change our reality or get the ball rolling. That to understand that the change begins with us. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Any questions for Pha'tal? I'm so style is definitely part of the ride, and that's cool to hear you talk about the origin, thinking of like a car show and people checking out the bikes. And your bike is pretty distinct. I don't know that I've asked you where it came from or what the story behind it.
So yeah, so just thinking about I when I was planning the first Rolling Piece, I think it was in June. The first Rolling Piece was actually in July. I believe it was July 13th. And sometime in June, I had been talking about it for maybe April, May, kind of just hinting, throwing it out there, seeing how people felt about it. And, you know, if I would have listened to people, everybody around me was telling me, nah, this ain't gonna work. They laughed at me, everything, right? And so, but in June, I pretty much pressed the button, and we moved forward with it. And like I was saying to myself, like, I can't just get a regular bike, right? And so like I was just kind of like searching everywhere. And I actually I believe I was on Craigslist or something, and just saw like a crazy bike. And like I just hurried up and called the person, and I think I had something happen. I sent somebody, asked him how much he wanted for it. I sent somebody to get it, and then I like took it because the frame is just like stretched kind of really long. They custom did the frame, and so after that, I just took it to a bike shop in Oakland that I knew about, that I ride past all of the time, and then I just got some adjustments made on it, and then just, you know, as our recent rise last year, there was just some things that was just kind of falling in my lap that just was like, wow, like this, I couldn't even made this up. Like there's a big P that's like that lights up, and just some different things that just kind of was like, these things was made for me. This was just made for my bike. So um yeah, it's just been a cool experience just to see the our youth and how they respond to it, and just giving them something to do and something to look forward to. And I think one of the things that I'm also looking to do is incorporate BMX, the BMX, just the tricks and all of those things. Maybe maybe we might not be able to do it this time, but maybe in September I'll do like a competition or something. Like maybe we'll do like a BMX competition before the rides. And like now this encourages our youth to like practice and, you know, give them something to do in their spare time. And so I'm looking to purchase me a BMX bike, and you know, do some tricks and try not to break too many bones.
Pha'tal, where do you imagine having the BMX competition?
We'll basically do it right. So, you know, there's a 4-hour window before we even pull off from the time that we start while we're doing registration.
Okay.
So
you do it before registration?
we'll just do it because I get a big trophy every time. And I typically give it away at the end for whoever has their bike lit up the best, or who's most creative with lighting their bikes up for the ride. And so now I think what we'll do is just create this a space for maybe an hour before we pull off for anyone who wants to enter the competition, to just do it, and we'll have the youth judge.
The reason I ask is because I was wondering if you would need any ramps or any assistance building ramps, and I have friends that do that all the time.
Let's do it.
All right.
Because another thing that I'm actually looking to do is I wanna incorporate, like pick a park, and we make it, and we can do some like do some of those, do exactly what you're saying in one of the parks, and then I'm going to be advocating for an actual bike park in Englewood, to be you know, structured or whatever needs to happen. That's something that I'm really getting ready to push for, that we have like an actual bike park somewhere in Englewood. There's so much land, so much opportunity here, and so why not?
Great. Do you have a question there?
No.
Okay.
Thumbs up.
Nice. Cool. That all sounds awesome, and exciting to think about BMX as part of that. And are you already connected to Let's Roast?
I wouldn't say that I have an actual relationship with them, but that is where I was looking at to purchase my bike from. I actually uh, went in there, I believe one day last year before, or it might have been 2019, but right before everything kind of shut down. And I was looking at the BMX bikes. But again, I haven't really had a chance, but I actually wanted to wrap. I wasn't gonna, because I wrap the same bike, every rolling piece. And so I was actually gonna go get a BMX bike. I was planning to from Les Rolls, but I wanted a 22-inch. And I didn't have none when I called recently. So yeah. But yeah, I don't have a relationship with anyone per se from the store, but that's the store that I know of that's really, that has them.
That's the people I was going to hook you up with.
Nice.
They volunteer a lot down at Big Marsh, building trails and doing maintenance on their facilities, and they also have experience building like urban BMX ramp stuff.
Okay.
So when I go over there next, which is probably this weekend, I'll get some contact info of anyone who's willing to participate in your Englewood events for BMX stuff.
Okay, appreciate that.
So your rides are typically in the evening as opposed to the daytime, is that correct?
Say it one more time.
Your rides are typically in the evening as opposed to earlier in the day, is that correct?
Yeah, so we start at 4 p.m. We're pretty much doing registration. There's vendors out that our community partners who have different resources for the community. They're out there sharing the resources that Englewood has. We're giving away T-shirts. We have T-shirts for our riders every ride. We have a different color T-shirt for our bike marshals. And so DIVVY brings us, we're now at like a little bit over 100 bikes that DIVVY bring out. It's typically 100, but they try to bring more because the DIVVY bikes go so quick. We've also, with our partnership with Working Bikes, and we do some bike purchases as well. Our goal is to give out 100 bikes to the youth every ride. And since 2020, since COVID-19 hit, we've been giving away face masks and hand sanitizer as well with the T-shirts for registration. And so while all of this is happening, people are Working Bikes is there, making sure anybody who needs air, any bike maintenance stuff any bike maintenance needs that needs to happen. That's kind of going on. People are getting registered. There's some smoothies and fruit and stuff being given out. And we typically pull off at 8 p.m. We pull off every ride exactly at 8 p.m. That's the goal. And then we do 8 miles through the greater Englewood community. And we find ourselves back at the point where we started.
That's great. Well, I think we're all looking forward to it. It's awesome to partner with you, and I think we might be able to get a BMX bike or two fixed up to add to the donation, and that's very cool that you're taking that turn. And I think we'll be able to support it too. So, and you're in the middle of a Get Your Mind Right session with youth right now?
Yeah, we're pretty much, we were wrapping up. But yeah, and also I wanted to add, like, I know that some of the bikes that we have, they need just some checking over from the bikes that you guys recently donated. And so I know that on the 12th, we're going to be doing some on the 12th, we're going to be doing like some bike mechanic, basic bike maintenance kind of stuff. But the 13th, also, we test the route out with the bike marshals, and then anyone who wants to volunteer as a bike marshal, we do that on the 13th. And so we're pretty much looking for 100 bike marshals. And yeah, we have 100 shirts for 100 volunteers. And so we're able to raise some money to pay our youth to be bike marshals. So what we did was we put the word out that we were looking for youth between the ages of 16 or 24 to come out and be bike marshals, and we're paying them $100 to be bike marshals for the day.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I think one of them's on the meeting right now. Good night, Angela. Thanks for joining us. Sophia, are you doing that bike marshaling? Sorry to put you on the spot.
Sorry, I'm doing it.
Yes, that is awesome.
Really excited.
Oh, cool. And we can definitely get the word out to more folks about the 13th, and maybe get some volunteers and staff to do that last check of the bikes that were sent down there. I know there are some flats that need to be fixed and one blowout that needs a new tire. So we should be able to get support for that. And I think we'll all be excited about that and the ride to follow. Oh, and see you, Karen. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, thank you for joining us, Pha'tal. We'll talk to you again soon. And
Okay, appreciate you guys.
Yeah, thank
likewise. Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
Bye. Yeah.
Good night.
Night. Cool. I'm gonna stop recording.